Discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. This week, we watched the June 16th, 1997 edition of Raw is War, and the match card is as follows. We had Owen, Hart, and the British Bulldog taking on the new Blackjacks in a tag team tournament, to determine the number one contender. Hunter Hearst Helmsley with Chyna takes on Phineas Godwin, Chris Candido, formerly Skip of the Body Donnas, versus Brian Christopher. Goldust takes on Jim Neidhart. Stone Cold gets his hands on Brian Pillman finally. Tommy Rogers takes on Bobby Fulton. The Headbangers take on RVD and Jerry Lawler in another tag team tournament match. And the new Nation of Domination takes on the team of Ahmed Johnson and The Undertaker. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Xavier. I am not so new to wrestling. This is my co-host, Kelsey. She is the new and new to wrestling. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Period.
We did it. We did it. There was so many matches.
So many matches and so little wrestling.
Yo, you're not wrong. It was
So
definitely one of
much.
those kind of episodes this week.
Which I love. I mean, we talk about this all the time, like love to see the wrestling, want to see the wrestling, duh. But also like there was so many
much happening. Yeah.
Oh my God, so much. I'm glad to be back in the Bat Cave, like back in my natural habitat and like back to the show. I love doing this. Sorry. That is it. I'm so grateful. It's so fun.
Same. All right, guys. So the show opens with like the commentary team, Vince and JR, talking about apparently a backstage skirmish that happened between Brett and Shawn Michaels before Raw went on the air last week. I don't really know all the details, but what ended up as a result is Shawn Michaels has been re-injured.
I hate this.
His knee that basically he like rehabbed instead of having to get surgery has now been re-injured, and he is also suffering from a neck injury, so he's going to be out for at least 4 to 6 weeks according to JR, which sucks. We just got him back. I'm
so devastated about this because literally we were just talking about this. I was like, man, I miss Shawn Michaels so much. I'm so happy that he's back. Like, this is the best. And like all good things are just snatched from me. From me.
So whoever wins this tag team tournament will be facing Stone Cold and a partner of his choosing, apparently, unless Shawn Michaels is somehow back by then. Who knows?
I'm confused by the stipulations of this because I feel like normally, I mean, I guess it's different with a tag team because like I'm thinking when Ahmed Johnson was injured as the Intercontinental Champion, they were just like, well, you forfeit the title. Same thing with Shawn Michaels. He was injured, he forfeited the title.
Right.
I just feel like
I think maybe because it was a singles one. Maybe, but I also think like Stone Cold having the tag team titles was like part of this story, you know,
right?
Of his like whatever he's going through right now. So I think they're just gonna truck
the pivot. Yeah.
Do you remember in the like WrestleMania 40 documentary where they were like, in wrestling you can either do like one of two things. You can either like pivot to like give the power back to the audience, or you can truck right on through. I feel like this is one of those scenarios where you just truck right on through.
Yeah, and I don't think people necessarily at this point in time like don't want Shawn Michaels to have, I mean, Stone Cold to like not, they don't want him to lose the belt even though Shawn Michaels is not there. They love him so much, like they would watch Stone Cold do literally anything. So I don't think it is kind of a moot point where it's like you can take the belt from him, you can not take the belt from him, you can put him in a match with anybody because it's interesting and people want to see it. So I understand. It just seems kind of crazy because if like I feel like if you know Owen Hart and the Bulldog wrestled the champs and like Bulldog was injured and couldn't compete, I feel like they would make Owen forfeit the titles, but maybe that's just me.
Who knows?
And we never will.
And speaking of our boy, Austin comes out to kind of address what's going on, and basically he's like, I don't care who my partner is. I didn't want Shawn in the first place. You made me take Shawn. So really, it doesn't really matter. and
he's never told a lie in his life.
No, in true Austin fashion, I don't need nobody. I never wanted nobody. The fact that you keep like putting people around me is just absurd.
And I love that so much. I love it so much. Like, please, I don't actually want anybody here. You guys just keep showing up and putting people in front of me. I keep saying no.
And Mankind, who's really just been on a roll as of late, shows up onto the Titantron to get Stone Cold's attention, and he's like, last week when you flipped me off, I felt we had a connection. Like,
I love this.
so crazy.
I
And
love
then
this.
Stone Cold goes, what earlier in the promo was talking about. He's like, I didn't want Shawn like out here with his long hair shaking his ass. Mankind goes, well, I've already got long hair. He's like, I can wear a earring because he has one good
One
ear.
ear.
And he's like, and I've got a nice ass. And you're like, okay.
He was like, I can shake my ass. I've got a nice ass. Like, I just
He's so
love
funny. I
him
can't.
so much. So funny.
I
So
love that they're like
good.
allowing him to like show his personality more.
I was gonna say that. Like, this is such a new Mankind. I feel like I just love this version of him so much, and it's because it's so much more Mick Foley. Like, it's
Mm.
still Mankind, it's still kind of this ambiguous, like, I don't know, will you, won't you, what's the deal? But like, it's so funny. Like,
Hmm.
he's there, he's in the room. Like, Mick
Right.
Foley is in the room with us, and I just love to see it.
No, 100%. Just because I'm now just interested to see like what he's gonna say next, because
Yeah, again, it's like
the one-liners the last couple weeks have been truly phenomenal. Like,
in like life altering, so good. And it's like I used to be worried about what he was gonna do next because he was so scary and like physical and unpredictable. And now I'm like wondering. Now I'm also worried, not worried, but wondering what he's gonna say next because he's so funny.
right. No,
I
exactly.
live for this. I live for this Mankind era at this point.
Me
I'm here
too.
for this.
And then they kind of turned the conversation to Stone Cold's match. With Pillman later on, and he's just like, it's gonna be a continuation from the King of the Ring. He's just gonna get flushed. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't
Love.
really know. Like, I love when like Stone Cold is like almost offended that he has to like explain what he's gonna do, as if like he's
Yes.
like, do you not get it yet? Like,
Like,
he's like, do you
hello.
not understand what I do here? Um,
I'm
it
gonna
really
beat him up like I always do.
Right, 100%. And then because this was the opening that just kept giving, Ken Shamrock comes out because he got into an altercation with Stone Cold the week prior, resulting in Stone Cold giving him the stunner. And Ken Shamrock, this is we're really seeing someone like new to the business.
I
We
was
are
just gonna say
we
that.
You can tell like as far as like physically, like the look of him, $1,000,000.
Mm-hmm.
These promos are rough,
Ooh,
and they
mama.
always are when you're new. Like
I
they
know.
always are. But it's just that like he's thrust out onto this like national platform and is like speaking, and it's like, ooh, ooh.
Especially coming after Stone Cold and Mankind, who are two
Mhm.
of the best. Put him after Psycho Sid.
That's what
He'll
I'm
sound
saying.
so good. Like,
Like, basically, he goes on to just be like, I don't like bullies, and he's just kind of like yelling a lot, and he's like, you will pay for what you did to me last Monday. And he just kind of like repeated himself. He's like, oh, like you got into like my arena, so like now it's time to
zone,
like
yeah.
knuckle up. And you're like, okay. And like
Okay, Knuckles.
here and there you'd be like, all right, fine, whatever. And essentially Stone Cold from there is like, well, I've got like plans tonight, but like after I'm done, if you want to just get yourself in line, that's fine and dandy with me.
Fine with me. Yeah.
He's like, as soon as I'm done beating, he literally is like, as soon as I'm done beating Brian Pillman all over here, you can by all means. And you're
I'll
like,
squeeze you in. I'll
right,
pencil you down.
100%. He's like, never too booked and busy for an ass kicking. Like, it's
No,
just true.
period. And respectfully. Love that.
And then we cut to Brian Pillman backstage, and honestly, this was one of the like probably better promos from Brian Pillman.
Absolutely.
Mostly in that it felt like an actual wrestling promo instead of like some kind of like weird group prayer.
Oh my
So
gosh. So the bar was already kind of low.
well, as far as what we've
But
seen in Brian Pillman in the WWE so far, yes. Um,
right, yes. At his comeback tour thus far.
yeah. So I love that they made him watch the entirety of the swirly footage.
I love Love it.
I love
Love
it. It was just something about like just being like, oh, remember when this happened to you?
They
And
will
he just
not
has
let him let it go.
no,
They
why
won't.
would you? Why would you?
Never. Every interview, they're like, and let's once again go back to the swirly. Let's just relive it. And they don't even go like cut right to it. They
No,
do
no,
the
no.
whole buildup and everything of him getting dragged into the bathroom, closed into the stall. They do the whole setup
Mm-hmm.
too. They will not let it go. And respect. I love it.
No,
Make him
100%. I
watch it
love it.
over and over again. He is too. There is no humility. Like he doesn't seem embarrassed by it at
No, he
all.
was
And
not
like I
humbled at all.
no, and that's why it bothers me because we all need to be humbled once in a while, and a swirly is one hell of a way to get humbled and like act accordingly, or I'm
That's
gonna
yeah,
show it to you forever.
no, 100%. I fully agree with you. And then he's asked about the Hart Foundation being handcuffed to the posts of the ring during his match with Stone Cold, and he's like, I don't understand why like we're gonna handcuff the Hart Foundation like a bunch of criminals. And he's like, oh, the only thing you forgot though is the only one with a rap sheet, like is the only one that's not going to be handcuffed. And you're like, oh, okay. Apparently Pillman's been doing hard time, probably for when he pulled out a gun on Stone Cold. And
Yeah,
I love it that like there was throughout the episode there was like this ad for like a Stone Cold like VHS, and apparently
yeah.
that incident is going to be on there because they're never gonna air it again. Like,
Vince literally said, like, just so you know, we're never gonna air this again, but it is uncut, uncensored,
mm-hmm.
in on the VHS, which honestly, I am trying to see just for kicks. Cause like
Right.
how long could that VH tape possibly be?
I don't know.
Maybe 30
It,
minutes.
I have no idea, but I was just thinking about. Do you remember the? I don't know if you had the Titanic on VHS, but
It
it was
was
on
two.
two. Yeah,
Yes,
it
I
was on
did.
two VHSs.
That and like my dad had like Pearl Harbor and it
I
was two.
love Pearl Harbor. It is one of my
Me
favorite
too.
movies. Josh
Me
Hartnett,
too.
are you kidding me?
Please, Kate Beckinsale? Are you kidding me? Um, like you
Dead.
better work, girl. What was I gonna say? Oh, but they also used to have, God, we are so old. They used to have TV episodes on VHS. Like you could buy,
Yes.
it was like 4 episodes of a TV show or
Mm-hmm.
like two or whatever it
Right,
was
right, right.
on like a VHS. So I'm like, this has
Do
to
you remember the
be,
Nickelodeon ones being orange?
yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
And there was other ones, sometimes they were green, like because they were slimed or
Oh yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Something.
Wow.
Rugrats in Paris, I think, was purple. They really went off Nickelodeon
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with the
I mean,
VHS.
they knew who they were selling to.
Yeah, it's me. It was me. And I was like,
It
oh
was
my
me.
God. Me at like 6 going like, oh, the vibes. You sick. Love what
The
you're doing
vibes
over
are
there.
immaculate.
Immaculata.
Oh,
Love.
ridiculous. All right, so in our first match, we have the new Blackjacks, who we haven't seen in a hot minute, taking on the Hart Foundation. We got a couple pre-recorded like messages from both teams. It was basically just like, I'm gonna win. So enough of that. Uh,
Me. Yeah.
yeah. Um, the new Blackjacks are like such heavy hitters. I know this, but I like every time I see them, I'm like, oh, they like hit hard. Like
Well,
everything
because
that
we
they
don't see
do,
them that often. So then when
everything
you do,
that they
you're like,
do is so like it looks like it hurts. It looks
real bad.
stiff. Yeah. Um
Yeah.
just have a note that just says boots because Kelsey was going off about the new Blackjack
I'm
boots.
sorry. And I wasn't even going to bring it up because I'm sure there's an episode when the new Blackjacks came out that I was like, oh my God, boots the house down, queen says that walk. I don't
Oh
know,
my
something.
god.
But they blew the whole budget on the boots. And honestly, respect,
No, 100%.
love.
Hmm,
Because
hmm.
me, that is me. Black boots, like with the white design, like the cowboy boots, it says Blackjacks down the side stripe. I mean, A plus. Well done.
Amen.
I
Um,
mean,
uh,
maybe invest more time in the mustaches, but that's okay. I will take the boots.
yeah, maybe let's get like an oil or like a
Oh, a
a
butter or
wax,
something.
something like
Again, I'm saying where were the sponsorships for like beard oil, beard
right.
butter, something?
I can't even imagine that beard butter was a thing in 1997.
You're not wrong. You're not
I,
wrong.
I'm just thinking like how recent like male
That's a
hygiene
thing.
is. Like,
Listen up.
or like how recent like a focus in that like
It's
end
so
product for men.
true.
Like,
Like pomades and like things like
right.
that. And listen, gentlemen, it's here to stay. So
What's
sack up. Okay, leave the 2-in-1 on the shelf. You can
yeah.
have 2 bottles, one for shampoo and conditioner, and a separate body wash. Matter of fact,
Yes.
leave the 3-in-1.
No,
Leave
whoever,
it.
if you're still rocking a 3-in-1, we have to talk. We
You
have
gotta,
we
let's sit
have to
down.
talk.
We need an
Something is
intervention.
deeply wrong. I know, like if efficiency, how long are
No.
you in the shower that you need to make it shorter? Like
Uh, uh,
you know what I mean? Like how long, like I half the dudes I know don't even wash their legs. What do you mean? Like
oh, no, the soap running down does not count,
does
baby. It
not count.
doesn't.
Does
It
not count.
doesn't. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you don't need to get back to Fortnite that badly. Stand in the shower and wash your feet.
And that has been your public service announcement.
I'm sorry. It's
So
upsetting to me and my homegirls because we feel like if you use 3-in-1, where the
oof,
hell could I go?
no, only up, only up.
I'm saying. So you have all the time in the world. All you have to do is 3 separate bottles. You'll be okay.
I believe in you.
Okay.
So at one point in the match, which is probably my favorite move in the entire thing, they have Barry Windham down in like the corner, and the Hart Foundation just like wishbones him, just
Oh
just
my
pulls
God.
one leg each in opposite directions, and you're literally
It was
it's
so
just
funny.
like a family on Thanksgiving. It was beautiful.
Xavier literally went, "Oh, make a wish."
I mean, what else are you gonna do? Because
Oh
I'm
my
sure
God.
he's wishing that like any of that could be salvageable after that.
Absolutely. Ripped right down the middle.
Oh, poor
Yikes.
guy. So when Hart picks up or helps pick up the victory by hitting one of the Blackjacks with a spinning heel kick while the referee is turn dealing with the other Blackjack, that
Mm-hmm.
allows Bulldog to stack up. I'm pretty sure it was Wyndham, not the other way around, but uh,
Yeah.
stacks him up, gets the 3 count, and then the Hart Foundation moves on in the tournament. So,
It was a pretty good finisher. I kind of liked it. Not like a finisher, but like a move to finish the
yes,
match.
yes, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it was pretty good. I
And
like
the like the
it.
timing was good. Like it wasn't like it was like the referee was in the corner for like 3.5 minutes while like it gets like set
Yeah.
up,
Oh,
like, and you're like, oh, I
yes.
know what's coming. Like, so it was good. It was the timing was like on point. But of
Yeah,
course,
it took me off guard actually. Now that you say that, I was like, "Oh,
right, yeah, because
wow."
you were like, oh, it's done. Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Next we get hit with a recap of the Nation of Domination breaking up, and when I tell you this club mix was crazy, this club mix went off. They did
If
the
you
whole
guys
thing, and like they it was like a long mix first of all,
long, I think it
because
was
you
two,
get the whole
okay.
recap.
Go to
Like
18 minutes in. I looked at the time in case anyone wants to. Xavier, the way people were getting fired, the nation was breaking up, and we were just like this.
does not, yo, that mix was crazy. It was so synthy, it went so hard, and then like halfway through the like some vocals like entered.
Yes, the vocals.
And
I was
that
like, when the vocals came in, we were all like,
I was like,
good.
okay, I love this. Whatever, I wish the WWE would bring this back. Just, I want completely like inappropriate for the situation music to be played over every recap that ever happens ever again.
Absolutely
Because
need to see that.
like the visual was like Jerry Springer, and like the just the audio was just
Rhythm
straight
of the
Jersey
night.
Shore Club. Like I could not.
Period. It was like 80s, like people were just like free love and sweat and like it was like dude, I'm still reeling over the vocals. When they added the vocals, it was like, and it wasn't words. It was just or like
No,
whatever. We were
no,
like
fully. I was like, okay. The way we get so hyped, it's absurd. Like I'm telling you, like I wish you all could witness me and Kelsey watching this,
I
because
swear.
it's truly something to behold.
One
Uh,
one day we'll figure out live streaming. That's like a goal maybe for 2025. We'll like figure out live streaming because
yeah,
these next 6 months we just need to Not even 6 months. We only have like a few, 4 left of the year? Barf.
Where are we at? We're in June.
August.
So 6.
It's August.
Oh, today. Oh, I thought you meant in the show. I was confused.
No, in the show, yes, we're in June, but in real life, we're in August.
We're in August. Yes.
We are in August. So, but maybe 2025 we'll do live stream because honestly, I just feel like we would all, as a community, have such a good time.
Oh, such a good time. So after the Nation of Domination's downfall remix, we get we are taken backstage. Wait, what? I literally didn't know where I was going.
It's so funny.
Oh. So next we get taken backstage to Paul Bearer and Taker, and they're asked about the tag team match. And Undertaker goes to speak, and immediately, Paul Bearer goes, "Hush, rigor mortis," and you're just like, I was like, this is crazy. Like, I was like, that's
hush, rigor mortis.
Like, hush.
Hush. That is so unnecessarily funny.
Yeah, I was not expecting it. Oh,
not like that was such a serve. Like, instead of going like, "Be quiet, Undertaker. Hush, rigor mortis." What?
No,
like,
fully.
What?
Oh my god.
And the read you wrote you just happened there. Like, that is so
I love that. I
funny.
love a creative like shutdown. Like
especially a hush. If someone told me to if I started to say something, they just went hush, I'd be like, I'm actually gonna go home. I'm so sorry for being here.
I had no idea I was getting like clocked today. Like,
I had no idea I was getting scalped. I will take my bald ass home right now. I'm so sorry. I'm so chilly now. It's so cold. I need a hat. I'm so upset.
Amazing. Hush, rigor mortis. It makes
to the Undertaker.
As if he was like talking to like a Dementor or something. I was like, what is this?
So funny. I don't know why that took me out so bad. I just put hush, rigor mortis, excuse. Like,
excuse?
Wow. Incredible.
And then we are taken to Ken Shamrock, who's backstage, and essentially just gives us the same promo he gave us in the ring, only now he's shirtless. So better.
Okay. Like, right, distracting. Right, important.
He's like, hey, I like my himbo silent. I don't know.
Hush, rigor mortis. Enough. Oh my, no, literally, I feel bad. No, I don't want to say I feel bad for Ken Shamrock. He's so great, but he just like, I hate, and we talked about this, I hate the storyline of like, I don't like bullies. Me. Like, right. Okay, like, I just, give me something more.
Right. Because if like, I don't know, if I wanted to like, see some white dude with a savior complex, I'd literally just walk outside. Like, I don't need to do this. Like I don't need it presented to me in this format. Like, you know what I
would
mean?
turn on cable TV. I'd see it.
No, 100%.
I would turn on Law and Order or CSI or
and my thing is like, also it's like, where, like, you just got here. Like, where do you get off being like
and the gag is like, it's never like, I was bullied as a child and therefore like I like want it. No, it's just,
it is
I don't
very
really like
savior.
bellies.
Yeah.
and so what I was gonna say is like, so part of that to me is like, what do you do with that in a promo? Like, I kind of like, you're new, and so they're like, here's like, I don't know, you don't like bullies, like whatever, and so he's just gotta like make something out of that. And I kind of get why it's like, I am mad at you for bullying, and so I will see you in the ring.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of is like, what do I do with this? Like, so I kind of feel bad for him, but we'll get through it, Ken. Yeah. We'll make it.
Yeah, Ken has better feuds. Well, he gets better down the line. He's very new. We got to take these promos with a grain of salt and understand, like, he is not coming from this world. He is,
yes, and we know he can fight.
Very athletic, solely driven, like,
period. And
arena,
you don't have to talk. You just stare at each other. You do the stare down at the weigh-in, and like, that's it. Like, there's and not like,
sometimes
really
they
like
kiss. I like when they do that.
Love when they do that. Love when they get so close and they're just like,
yeah, you're like, as like a psych out, and I'm like, ooh.
No, the way you would be like, like lean in. She'd
No,
be like,
fully. Not gonna phase
100%.
me.
Yeah,
Ah.
no. I'd be like,
And
period.
again. All right. So in our second match of the evening, we have Phineas Godwin, who we also have not seen in a hot minute.
Phineas, hey
Um,
boo.
taking on the King of the Ring, Hunter Hearst Helmsley with Chyna.
Oh,
It
she looks so
is
good.
announced that at the Canadian Stampede, we are going to see Hunter Hearst Helmsley versus Mankind 2. So that should be a good one. Very excited for that.
I am
Um,
too.
I have a note that just says Chyna side cheek. Oh,
Yeah, because
her.
her butt,
Right,
her
right, right.
booty cheeks. She, instead
Um,
of side boob, she did side cheek, and we were all
we
grateful
all
for
here
it.
for it. Phineas did a mule kick, which I just thought was the funniest thing on God's green earth because
It was odd.
it was something. um, because it's a 300-pound man, just like
Who said hee haw?
no, actually. Oh, it was crazy. I just was not expecting him to do all that.
And I don't think Triple H was either, because it really, I was like, is he gonna break dance? Like, what is this? Like, the setup is just so, it's just silly. Like, you just
Yeah,
lean down and you
just
hee
kick
haw your
backwards.
legs.
Yeah.
And like, Triple H was literally like, was like, what are you doing? Like, I
What
don't know.
is this? So
I don't
good.
know why it was so funny. I will say I miss Phineas, but I miss Hillbilly Jim more. Hillbilly
Honestly.
Jim, I miss you, babe. Where are you?
No,
Are
literally
you okay?
literally come clean by Hillary Duff starts playing.
So wait, I'm just like out the window with the rain. I'm just like,
Oh my god.
miss you,
I
babe.
would live for that, just like a montage of like you like like by like a rainy window, and it's just like,
Caressing a rainy window.
and it just keeps cutting to like just like clips of like Hillbilly Jim, like just like
Would
living his
love
life.
like doing his like dance thing
No.
that he does when they win it is like but in slow motion.
Like
Iconic.
I love this man.
Holding a goat, love.
Mm.
I just miss
Uh
his energy.
we had a fantastic crowd sign today that just said "Spank Me, China." I mean,
Work.
shoot your shot, I guess.
And you know what? I get it. And it was big. They spent time on it. I was happy to see it. Happy to see her.
Phineas, however, I guess also shared those sentiments because at one point in the match, China's up on the apron trying to do her China thing, and Phineas just goes over and like Shawn Michaels a la Sunny just plants one on China. She looks disgusted and horrified, as we all were, and
Yeah.
that allows Hunter to hit Phineas with the pedigree, picks up the victory, and we're all just like, can we stop just randomly kissing women like for no reason, for
Really
just
hate that.
because? Can we stop
Really
forcing
hate it.
ourselves on the like three female people that come
That
out here?
that show up to this
Right,
job despite all of you. Swear.
right.
And the thing is too, like, he came at her, she rebuffed him, she like pushed him, and
Hmm.
then he was like, ooh, I liked that. And I'm not here to kink shame anybody. If you like to be a sub, that is your business,
But when in
respectfully.
time and place,
Time and place, and don't plant one on me when I said no.
yeah,
I said no.
right.
Down dog.
Hmm.
Bad. Ew.
Bad,
I
ew,
hate it. I
right.
want to hit you in the face with a newspaper.
Ugh.
But basically that's what happens to him.
Yeah. Amen. Because Henry Godwin comes out, who again haven't seen since his broken neck, basically, and he comes out and just
Mischief.
starts screaming at Finney. He gets all up in Phineas's face. He's like, "What are you doing? Like, what is
Love.
this? Like,
Love.
what?"
Because him planning one on China cost him the match.
Hmm.
Because then Triple H gets all pissed off, hits Phineas with the pedigree and loses, and then Henry comes out and is like, "Are you? We don't do that here." And I was like,
Hmm.
"Yes, yell at him, air him out, like ew, ew, we don't do that." And I'm sure it was because he lost the match and not because he like necessarily like planned like got distracted by a woman. Though I will say this harkens to one of the very first storylines we encountered on the New Wrestling podcast, which was Phineas wasn't it Phineas who was like in
Hmm.
love with Sunny? And then come on, memory. Phineas was
Hmm.
in love with Sunny, and then they broke like it was a whole mess because Sunny was
Hmm.
like, just kidding, you're gross.
Right.
So I don't know if I feel like Henry just came out to be like, no women, you lost
Do
the match
do
because
we
you're
ever
being
learn?
distracted. Do we ever learn? But I played it out in my head as he came out and been like, don't touch women that don't consent. Smack, smack.
Yeah. I like
For
that
me.
storyline
Just
better.
for me. Yeah, just for me.
um
Just little me things I needed.
so we'll see, hopefully see more of the Godwins. Miss them. Hopefully.
Me
I
too.
know, I want to see some slop. Let's go.
I was
Uh,
just gonna say it's been a minute since we've seen someone get slapped,
right.
and I'm missing it. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I am.
I know. It's funny how that happens. The
I know,
things we
sneaks
like
up
start
on you.
out in wrestling being like, are usually the things we end up loving the most. I
And you're
swear.
like, oh man, been a minute
Mankind,
since.
another example.
Swear to God, been a minute since the sloppening, and
The
then yeah,
slopping.
mankind growing on me. So true.
So then we're taking backstage to Farouk and D'Lo, and he's asked about like what we got coming with the nation, what's new with the nation, and essentially he's like, we're gonna debut two new members tonight, and I'm just gonna like tagline it, bigger, badder, blacker was the kind of the mood of the whole promo was the new nation's
Period.
gonna be bigger, badder, and blacker, and you're like, okay, go off,
And amen. And if
right,
that's because you know what, to be honest, it feels like they actually have a creed and like a purpose. Like it
right.
just with that, I was like, okay,
Right.
I'm here. I'm clocked in.
hmm
I'm seated.
So we're gonna come back on that because that's our main event. So after that, we get another appearance from Sunny, who is going to be our guest ring announcer. She came
Hi,
out looking
Sunny.
good. She got it together this
So
week.
good.
She she
She
she
saw
said,
Sable last week and was like,
mhm,
"Ooh, no, 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 not
mhm.
me. Can't be
She said, I
upstaged
will
by that."
not be outdone. So she comes out in a little red mini with the Raw's War t-shirt still, but it's actually like tied so it's form fitting and like looks
Mm-hmm.
good. She comes out, and then we also have our boy Paul E. Dangerously on commentary. We love to see it. We
Hi,
love Paul.
Paul.
Um, we are big Paul Heyman stands here.
Duh.
So this match is a inter promotional match between Brian Christopher of the USWA, which is a Memphis area based promotion, and ECW, which is a Philly based promotion. And this one's interesting because it sees Chris Candido, who was a former WWF employee,
Mm-hmm.
taking on Brian Christopher, who is the son of Jerry the King Lawler. Um,
Which I just want to say, I hate two first names.
Brian Christopher,
Brian Christopher is horrible.
right? Well,
And I don't know if he's like trying to distinguish himself from his father and like not
mm-hmm. Use
like
the
the
name,
prince
right?
instead of the king. But
Well,
Brian
I mean, he
Christopher
didn't
is
even use the last
terrible.
name. That's the gag. Like, he's not Brian Lawler. He's not Christopher Lawler. He's just Brian Christopher.
Brian
He literally
Christopher.
just took his first and like middle name. It's just like we're gonna run with that.
How interesting. And then
Mhm.
he looks just like him. At least I think so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The apple did not fall far from that genetic tree. That is for sure.
No, copy
Um
paste.
so Paul on commentary does make he's Paul, so he loves to stir the pot. He points out that Chris Candido, he's like, well, it's not just ECW wrestlers that are coming onto like Raw, like Rob Van Dam. It's actually Chris Candido chose to leave the WWF and for greener pastures at ECW. And then so the match is like progressing. It's fairly competitive for two
Yeah,
basically people we don't super know that well.
very
I mean, we
true.
know Chris Candido, but still, we've only really seen him in tag team action. And then we know him from After Dark, but um the match is like continuing, and then like somehow Paul gets like egged on about like talking about like Brian Christopher, and he's like, "Oh, you want me to shoot?"
And
I
we were all like,
know
yes,
my
yes, yes,
my
yes.
fave. I love whenever Paul Heyman goes, "You want me to shoot?" Because the next things that are coming out of his mouth are going to be flawless, are going to be absolutely heinous or ridiculous, and I love it. I live for it every time. So then
Me
he
too.
goes on and just shoots on Jerry. He's like, Brian Christopher is Jerry the King Lawler's son. He doesn't like his father so much he won't even use his name. And then he goes on to talk about like how like Brian Christopher's mother is probably like
A
super
38-year-old
young.
woman.
Right.
Like, I thought it was so super like old. Brian
What?
Christopher's mother's a 38-year-old woman.
Brian Christopher's in his like mid-20s.
Oh, because he's okay. Heard. Better.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
that's like not that old. Like, I don't know. I was just like, what? And then
Right.
okay, that
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
more sense
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, which is
now.
enough to bring Jerry out from
He
backstage.
shoots, he scores.
Shoot, yes, he did. He comes out, he starts like mouthing off to Paul Heyman, like starts getting his hands on him. Tommy Dreamer comes out with a steel chair. We'd love to see.
Love to
Um,
see.
clears out, and then so Jerry runs into the ring, throws Chris Candido like off the top rope. This is prior to Tommy Dreamer coming in and chasing everybody off. I just forgot the part that Jerry actually was in the ring. So Tommy
Mm-hmm.
Dreamer comes out with the chair, clears everybody out. Chris Candido technically wins by disqualification. Just kind of more
Mm-hmm.
chaos to the ECW Jerry nonsense.
Love.
Um, yeah, yeah. So next we get a backstage promo from Ahmed Johnson, and basically he references what Paul Bearer had said like prior about doing things the easy way or the hard way, and he basically goes like, I hope for all of our sakes that we can do things the easy way, and then we just kind of move on from there.
He he was this was now that I know what happens at the end of the episode,
Mm-hmm.
his promos make more sense to me. Like
Mm-hmm.
how like close to the chest he was about things, how kind of reserved he was. His promos were very like dialed down and kind of and I loved them, like very simple, very whatever, but it was almost like he wasn't trying to give too much away. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. It fit perfectly with how the end of the episode happened, I will say,
Yes.
in
Yes,
my
yes, yes.
opinion.
Yes. Which put a pin in it, we'll come back.
Yeah, great.
So Goldust takes on Jim Neidhart in our next match. We get a kind of really confusing promo from Jim Neidhart because he's like talking about the match or he's talking about being handcuffed during the Stone Cold Brian Pillman match, but then he's also like referencing his match with Goldust, and it feels like he's like mixing it up, and like it was
Mm-hmm.
really confusing. And then he's like, I don't, he's like, how do you feel about being handcuffed? He's like, I don't like being handcuffed. It's like, okay, no shit. So
I mean,
there,
that's it. Like point blank.
right. And like, yeah, it was just a confusing promo and he was yelling for like most of it. And then we just kind of moved on.
Yeah, it didn't really make a lot of sense.
No, and honestly, I think it was like, I don't know. He just like mixed, like, he should have addressed the Stone Cold thing and then addressed Goldust. Instead, he like addressed them all at the same time. But it's like, those are kind of separate things. Like,
Yeah, I don't really. I just literally wrote Jim Neidhart's promo made no sense.
yeah.
Because I was like,
Gold,
huh?
yeah, honestly. Goldust requested a member of the Hart Foundation because of the shenanigans that happened during his European title match with the British
Mm-hmm.
Bulldog. So this was his opportunity to do that. So my favorite part of the match, not because again this was a super short match, is at one point Goldust is hitting Jim Neidhart in the corner with the punches. And he does, the 10 punches in the corner. He stops at 9, grabs him by the goatee. I lived for that. I thought
Work.
it was just so funny. I was like,
So
yes. I
funny.
was like, if he's gonna come out here with that like goat ass goatee, then you're gonna take
Oh,
it.
I'm telling you, all his no disrespect to the anvil, but it's kind of like all his brains are in there in that goatee.
No, yeah, that's how it feels like.
Yeah, and when he grabbed him by the goatee and just like led him down, it was like Sandy leading Danny at the end of Grease,
Oh
where
my
she was.
god,
It was very
yeah,
that like I got chills,
I love that.
damn, like
I
so it
would
was just so perfect.
that scene, but Goldust as Sandy.
I I would love that. And like just superimposed over the actual film. Like I don't want it remade. Like I want it to be
No, no,
like
no,
almost bad. Like you know what I
no. Yeah,
mean?
I want it to be horrible. I want Goldust in the wig,
Horrible.
just like
Yeah, and it's like,
I
oh my
want
god,
him to look.
100%.
I don't know. Did you ever watch South Park, the movie,
I
ever?
didn't. I did not.
Mm,
I grew up
never
in a
mind, we're
very
gonna
strict
move on.
household.
There's
Yeah.
this like reference to like Canadians, and they all have like these like weird open like mouths. Like when they like talk, like it's like their face splits and like just like opens like this.
Oh
That's what I
my
want it to
God.
be like. I just want it to be just like a like almost like Pac-Man.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Love that. No, and that's how it should be.
So the Bulldog comes out because he's got to apparently make Marlena's life more miserable than he already had last week. And
Mm,
starts like stalking her like around the ring. Of course, she goes to slap him again. The Bulldog catches her hand, doesn't realize that Goldust is seeing all of this, comes out,
duh.
Goldust comes out, socks it to the Bulldog. The
Period.
Bulldog and Jim, of course, being more people, end up getting the upper hand on Goldust, beat him down a little bit. But this all this craziness allows Goldust to hit like an uppercut, a cradle, and then Goldust picks up the victory, which I was not expecting to be the
Not at
scenario.
all.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody else was either because they started playing the Hart Foundation music. And then they were
Yeah.
like, wait, no, 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 cut it. And then the announcer jumped in and was like, ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Goldust. And then they started playing Goldust
Goldust
music.
music. Yeah. And I wonder what that was about. I wonder if
Very
did
weird.
someone in the truck just press the wrong button, or did the match end
It went
not the way it was
askew.
supposed to?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. Who's getting fired? No, I'm just kidding.
I swear. No, I'm just like,
Tell me more.
somebody's in trouble and it's not me.
So next we have basically there are only like full length match, and even then it still ended in chaos. So we have Stone Cold taking on Brian Pillman with the members of the Hart Foundation minus Bret Hart, handcuffed to the four corners of the ring. I loved it. I loved this whole
Best not
thing.
match of the night, I fear.
No,
Best one.
100%. I have a note that just says when you can hear Owen in the corner just like yelling, he's like, I want them off. I want them
Yeah,
off.
just throwing a
And
tantrum, just saying like,
I know, and
make
I
me
honestly I wanted Owen mic'd the whole time. I
the
wanted to
whole
hear
time.
Owen just losing his mind the whole time because he was. And like the other ones were just kind of like standing there, like, we're handcuffed, but Owen was climbing on top of the ring. He's trying to like unlike
Yoink.
yeah, he's trying to like yank on the like handcuff. He's doing the absolute most. And
So good.
love it.
Live.
I was like,
Live for that.
that's the difference between good and
I
great, my friends. Good and
you know
great.
what? Period. You are always selling, no matter
Oh,
where you are, what you're doing. Every
mm-hmm.
what is it? Wrestling is everywhere.
Everything is
Everything
wrestling.
is wrestling. Everything is wrestling. I love the drama of this. I said this to Xavier while we were watching. I love the drama of the fact that they could have just like locked the Hart Foundation in the locker room, like
Right.
handcuffed them backstage. They said, no, no, we will put them all out on each individual ring post for your viewing pleasure. I love that.
I
Like,
love that.
why? Like,
Absolutely.
it's so funny because you just know, like, they can't do anything,
Right.
allegedly. And like Stone Cold hates them all. So he's like, well, you're stationary and you can't mess with me. So I'm just going to get my licks in when I can. Like, it was just
It was
like,
amazing. Yeah, at one point he literally just circles around the ring and just starts beating up each of them. It was great.
he entered the ring. He went around and just gave them all the bird to start off their
Oh,
day. It was like
fully.
a bird for you, Bulldog, a bird for you, Owen, and a bird for you, Jim. Thank you.
Yeah.
And got in the ring. It was so he just walked around, bink, so good.
No, yeah. Oh, I it's just the little things with Stone Cold that are just so funny to me. Where
Yeah,
he's like, I love just like the little FUs. Like, yeah, the grand
they
ones
add up
are
to the
great.
big grand one.
Right. But it's the little ones like throughout the night where you're just like, man, you're good. Like, man, you're
Yes,
good.
because you are at no point ever going to forget that I do not like you. And I don't
100%,
care. It
100%.
takes no grand gesture. Even just walking down the hallway, I'm going to be like,
No,
just
fully.
keep that.
Yeah.
Tuck that in your back pocket. Never forget.
No. Love that.
Love that about him.
So while Stone Cold is outside beating the Hart Foundation, Pillman grabs a steel chair. Austin just doesn't even like take it and like hit him with it, he just shoves the chair back into Pillman's face, knocks him down, thus creating like a gash on Pillman's nose. He's like bleeding all over the place, looking a mess. Love to see it.
He also got
Pillman,
like hung over the ropes really bad at one point.
oh yeah. He was trying to do a top rope like I don't know, jump, move. Who knows what he was planning? Stone Cold basically just takes him and just hangs him up on the ring ropes crotch first. Just takes him and just drops him crotch first.
So hard though.
And because Brian Pillman's like I don't know, like 180 soaking wet. He just like sprung like from the thing and just like hit the ropes on the way down. It looked a mess. It was
Oh,
crazy.
it was terrible. It really, I was like, ooh, he'll never
Uh,
recover.
but after the steel chair shot to Pillman's face, Pillman's chokes Stone Cold with like a cable, like a TV cable before they like go to commercial. I have a note that just says in the corner, this is just solely for me and nobody else. Owen looks like a snack.
Just for me.
Just for me, just so that everybody still knows that I'm obsessed with him.
Like we'd ever forget.
No, literally can't. At one point, fully was my phone background. And no, and it raised many questions, like
I'm
people who
sure it
like
did.
know him, and it's like, is that Owen Hart? And I was like, yes, it
And what?
absolutely is. I was like, I
And what?
love him.
Fight
What do
me
you
about it.
mean? I love him. So where are we from there? Oh, so the referee at one point like starts like admonishing Austin for something. Austin wants no part in that, stuns the referee. Um he's like you I don't what rules regulations I'm gonna need you to take that and shove it. So he stuns the referee. Referee's dead in the corner. Pillman for
Love.
some reason has like I brass knuckle esque like
It's, I don't know.
weapons. I don't know.
He pulls something out of his junk because it's always in their junk. That's like brass knuckle-esque, but it's like wrapped in almost like white tape. Like
Mhm.
it's I don't know.
Yeah.
It was weird.
So Pillman, bludgeons Stone Cold with it. All the while, the referee was knocked out right in front of Owen Hart. So Owen Hart pickpockets the referee,
Love.
I love this. This is what I'm saying.
It's so good.
Pickpockets the referee, unlocks himself, unlocks the rest of the Hart Foundation, and then they all, of course, attack Stone Cold. Which brings us to Goldust, Mankind, and Shamrock coming out into the ring, which at first was like, okay, random, but sure. And then I was like, I guess that's kind of like what we're doing. I guess that's kind of the match we're going for. And then the
Mm,
Legion of Doom came out, and I was like extra confused because I was like, now we have too many participants for this 5-on-5. Like, where did Mankind go during the rest of that promo? I'll never know
so
because he
weird.
was there, right? Like
He
I was
was there.
right. Like I just feel like I was like he was there, then he wasn't, and then he wasn't in the after part where they're like, oh, like Goldust grabs the mic after they clear the ring of the Hart Foundation. He's like, oh, well, like, um, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting way ahead of myself. So we're gonna back up. The Hart Foundation attacks Stone Cold. All these people come in, chaos. Ken Shamrock is one of those people. Him and Austin start getting into it, as was promised earlier in the day, because Stone Cold is not gonna miss out on his opportunity to get his licks in.
Hmm.
However, Ken Shamrock like slams Stone Cold. They keep going at it. Then they get separated by the Legion of Doom. This whole thing. Goldust grabs the mic and he's like, "No, this is what they want you to do. Like, this is exactly what they want you to do." And then he mentions the challenge that Bret Hart made for Canadian Stampede for the 5-on-5 match, and he's like, "Well, you asked for five of the best that WWE had to offer, and it looks like this is the team." And so we're like, okay, I guess this is the team. So it's going to be the
Not
Legion of Doom, Goldust, Ken Shamrock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin taking on the Hart Foundation. What a
not what I
combo that is.
expected at all.
Not at all.
At all.
Right.
And Mankind was definitely there because we literally were like, well, that's too many people.
Right.
Like, so what? It's like one of the members of the Legion gonna be like bow out and be like, no, you got it.
No, no.
I
It was weird.
I'm gonna
Weird.
be I'm not gonna I don't want to be mean, but I would trade Ken Shamrock for Mankind if it was
Right.
me.
Yeah. But we know he be feuding with Triple H, so
I know. I just would though, because dude, LOD and Mankind
would be
and
crazy.
Goldust and Stone Cold on the same
It'd be
team,
like the land of
that would work me
misfit
out.
toys and then Stone Cold.
Swear. He's like the King Lion in on the Land of Misfit Toys.
No, act just like how did I get here?
Yeah, swear. I like because we tried to make predictions last week, didn't we? Or
We
maybe two
did,
weeks.
yeah,
We were like,
and it wasn't this.
was not this. I don't even think it was close. I don't even
I,
remember what I said.
well, and yeah, I couldn't even remember, but I feel like the Shawn Michaels injury kind of threw a wrench in whatever was going to
Right.
happen for
Of
sure,
course.
because I could see it being like um Stone Cold, Shawn, Shamrock, the Legion of Doom. That tracks to me because Shamrock has been out here the last couple of weeks in the Hart
Mm-hmm.
Foundation's face, and the Legion of Doom is just kind of always down. So like,
Well, that's very true. Chicago
so
Street Fight, they were like, sure.
yeah, no, fully. They're like, yeah, that sounds great. That's
I love
exactly
that
up our wheelhouse.
I love that them and Ahmed Johnson have like kind of a working relationship where they'll just like get it. Yeah, do you mind like coming? Oh yeah, sure, no problem, Ahmed. We'll be
Yeah,
there.
right.
Um, yeah, I don't know, because I feel like I wanted like Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, Mankind. I could get into Goldust and maybe I thought Ahmed Johnson for a minute there. I don't know why I
Hmm.
thought that, but like and he's got his own thing going on, but like this not the team I expected, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, pretty much. So after that, Stone Cold grabs the mic from Goldust and he's like, I don't want any teammates, but Gorilla Monsoon's not gonna let me do this by myself. So he's like, we will do this one time. He's like, we're not gonna be friends, we're not gonna drink beer.
I
Like,
love it.
he's like, I don't really want anything to do with any of you. So one time and done. And then throws the mic at Road Warrior Animal, it hits him in the chest, and like he's like, I'm out. Like it just
Bye,
leaves.
girl.
Uh Absolute
I do
insanity.
love the idea of LOD and Stone Cold being on the same team. I feel like that's kind of turnt.
Yeah, I would. Oof. Well, so we'll see how this match shakes out. It's not the
Mm-hmm.
match I thought, but we'll see how it
I
goes.
will take it. Yeah.
So after that, the Hart Foundation is met up in the locker room. Big Owen goes into, he's like, the mystery's over, and he's like, basically, we're gonna treat them like scum, the way that the American fans like treat us, essentially. And then Brian Pillman comes in and it's talks about like, oh yeah, like we don't like discriminate, we are equal opportunity destroyers, and I was like, all right. Again, not the worst
Hmm.
as far as promos
Well,
goes, better than most as far as Pillman is concerned.
absolutely. And I thought he was going to end it with, and I thought it was really good. He goes, because the lines of battle have been drawn and they've been written in blood. And he like
Hmm.
pointed to his face, which was bleeding. And I thought, I was like, ooh, end it. And then and Vince thought he ended it too. And he went like, okay. And he goes, and then, and like started again. And we were like, no, no, no. You had it. You
You
had
had
it.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Stop. And then
Sometimes
whatever
less
he
is
finished,
more. Oftentimes
yes.
less
And
is
whatever
more.
he finished with wasn't bad. But I literally was like, could you? They had it like they perfectly zoomed on his face, like, and they were written in blood.
Right.
The end.
Right.
Perfect. But no, we had to go and keep
Hmm.
running our gums. Dang
Uh
it.
So
Whatever.
yeah. So next we have Sable as our next guest ring announcer.
Hey,
It's
girl.
again, this is essentially bringing these two out as guest ring announcers is, hi, we'd still like to promote this T-shirt, but we can't do the exact same segment we did last week. So
Period.
now this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So this match was between Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers, who were apparently a tag team. Essentially, this whole match is here to make the announcement that the WWF is building a light heavyweight division. So basically, what that is going to be is essentially the WWF equivalent of the cruiserweights. That's what they're trying to do here.
I
Um,
thought so. Because I was like, what is a
yes,
light heavyweight? It's like
yes,
almost an oxymoron.
right.
But
So
a
it's a
cruiserweight work.
Right. So, because they use light heavyweight in like boxing and UFC, like that term. But,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you will see, um, the light heavyweight division has its like moments, but it's not the cruiserweight division. WCW really like cornered the market on that. They
Oh,
really got
wow.
the people that like you want to get to be in that division. They had them. They had them all.
I
Um,
mean, I know they had
they
Rey Mysterio, and
they
he
had
is
Rey
always who I think
Mysterio, Eddie
of.
Guerrero, Chris Benoit,
Yes,
Chris
Benoit.
Jericho, Dean Malenko, Juventud Guerrero. They had so many people. And I don't know. The WWF's like light heavyweight division. It's just like it felt like one of those things where it was more um more of a reaction than an action.
Ooh.
So it
I love when
feels
you say
like,
stuff like that.
yeah, so I don't know, it just feels like, they're on the back foot as far as that division goes. Like they're just trying to keep up instead of doing something different.
Yeah, it's like the anything you can do, I can do better. But
Right.
sometimes you can't.
But sometimes you can. It's just they had all of the people. Like
I
WCW
mean,
just really like, and that division is like low key a big reason why people were like fans of WCW. Like yeah, they had
yeah.
like the big name like stars, but like you at one point in time could have seen all of the big name stars that were in WCW in WWE. What you couldn't see was the undercard, which is like all of those guys, because they were wrestling in Japan and Mexico and whatever. So, that division in WCW is just like super exciting because it really was like a melting pot kind of situation,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
where all of those people were like kind of on a similar level as far as like they were. This is like the first time they've reached like a national platform, so they were all like showing out.
Mm.
So this is the WWF's like attempt at that, but we'll see how it goes.
I mean, we've
um
talked a lot about how the WCW undercard is was
Really,
one of the best.
yeah, it's arguably to me better than whatever was happening at the top of the card most of the time.
I would in my minimal hashtag Nooner Wrestling experience,
Well,
I would agree with you.
yeah, but and it's literally just because it was feuds you have already seen in WWF a lot of the times. Like
Yeah.
it's we've already seen them. And they WCW notoriously was not known for like allowing new people to enter into that top of the card. So you really,
Right.
really got the same thing over and over again. Um,
Right.
so after the match, Sable's just kind of like, she's out, she's
Around.
around, she's taking in the adulation of the fans. And Wildman Mark Miro comes out, and we like the commentary team thinks he's like coming out to like make an announcement or something, but really he just like stands on the corner and like beckons Sable, like he's like, get down here. He's like, that's enough, essentially.
Hate to
Um,
see it.
hate to see it,
And they
but
made some bummy excuse as to why he dragged her out last time. They're like, turns out they were late for something and that he had thought they stopped recording. And I go, yeah, that's like abusive boyfriend excuse 101 and 102.
mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I thought you weren't watching me, so that's why I was rough with her. Like, that's literally like,
Mm.
you
Oh,
can't
great.
say that. You
No,
can't say
literally.
it. You can't say or do that. And then he's like, no, we were just late to something. You are at work.
Right.
The show
What are you
is not
late
over.
to?
What are you late to? So
Absurd.
weird. And they were like, so they, people are trying to make something more out of it, but that's all it was. And it's like, you didn't.
No. But even then, that is them like planting it for all of
I
us.
I know, and it worked because it made me mad.
Yeah, oh, it's going to. So next we have the Headbangers taking on RVD and Jerry the King Lawler in another tag team tournament match. Love to see it. Obsessed with the Headbangers. I
Love.
really, really am. So we cut to them kind of backstage. They're asked about the championship, tournament. They're like, oh, the belt would look great on us if we finally have something to hold up our skirts. And I died. I don't know why that tickled
No,
me.
Xavier laughed so hard because one of them says it. I can never remember who's Thrasher and who's Mosh, but
Thrasher says it, Mosh spits.
Mosh spits, and I think the spit is what really
Because
took
I'm a
you out.
child and a spit take will still get me.
Yeah, because he spits like directly into Thrash's face, and it's like it's just kind of silly. And then they like bonk heads, and Xavier just can't get enough, and I love to watch it.
Because they just resemble like they are just like live cartoons. Like
Yeah.
they feel like the Animaniacs or something. Like
Oh my God, they really do.
yeah, just
I love the
absolutely absurd.
Animaniacs.
Me too. I love this match because it cuts to Paul E in the crowd, and he is just mean mugging that man. I have never seen such a scowl. Like
A
it was
snarl, like teeth exposed. So
mhm,
like,
so like, deranged,
oh,
absolutely deranged.
it took me out. I literally like they hard cut to it, and it was just like, huh, like
No, fully. I was like, oh, okay.
if
I was
looks
like, you
could kill.
if your face could get stuck like that, like
That's like it reminds me of that scene in Juno where they're like, no, that's just, and she always is giving me weird look. It's like that's her face, and it literally cuts to this girl, and she's literally like,
amazing,
it is like
absolutely.
the most under because it's one of those jokes that arguably does nothing for the plot, but it's just hysterical and like it didn't need to be in the movie to do
Mm.
anything. It's just funny, and I think
Ah.
about it all the time, and that was like the perfect
Do you remember? I don't know
example
if
of
you've
it.
ever seen Scary Movie 3, I think it is.
Maybe.
Those like spoof horror movie things.
I know I've seen like bits and pieces of them. I don't know which ones they were though.
I'm pretty sure it's the third one that's like signs and whatever.
Mm.
But Charlie Sheen's like talking to this like police officer, and every time they like they they cut between the two, so they'll cut to Charlie and then they'll cut to the police officer, and every time they cut back to the police officer, her hat gets bigger, and it just like the joke does nothing for anybody, but it's just so funny because by the time like she gets back into her like car, she has to like finagle her way into it and like slams the car door shut and the
I
hat
love
like
that.
on the outside. It's just like this joke doesn't need to be here, but I'm so
It's
glad it
just
is. Like
yes. Oh my God, I love stuff like that. It's so funny. But
so
yeah, this hard cut to Polly was very that. We're just like, and it was like, oh,
oh,
okay.
I was like, are you well? Are you rabid?
The answer is no.
No.
And that's why I love him.
Amen.
But
So
Daddy, I love him.
Pat Patterson is apparently on the kind of other side of the guardrail so that Paul E and Tommy Dreamer don't get any ideas because he jumped the guardrail the previous week, and JR, with the most out of pocket and pot calling the kettle black statement I've ever heard, goes more like waddled over the railing, and I'm like,
JR.
it's like, you are no spring chicken, sir. Like, let's.
Yeah, come now, JR. Steak extra A1 sauce, probably.
Oh, he has
Like,
his own barbecue sauce. If that's
okay,
like,
so there you go. I read you wrote you. I mean, let's act correct, please. Like
oh,
waddled over
right.
JR shoosh.
I actually thought this match was like very competitive and like very good.
Loved it. So
Because
good.
that like their styles just kind of matched really well. I think Jerry
Hmm.
did a good job of like I think he just does a good job of playing the antithesis of that style. Of like because the honestly, I feel like you could pick up the headbangers and drop them in ECW and they'd be fine. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
a hundred
You know what I
percent,
mean?
without a doubt.
So
Yeah,
this was
yeah.
very much like kind of like a more of an ECW style match, and I Jerry just does such a good job being the opposite of that, because
Yeah.
it really
It's so
showcases
true.
them more because there's such a contrast there. Um,
That's such a good point. And it's like not that their styles, it's like they don't like it's
no, not
oil
like
and water. It's more like magnets opposites attract. Like
right.
it kind of they do a great job of reflecting or what do you always say? It's like the foil. They
Hmm.
do a great job of foiling each other.
Yeah, yeah. So so yeah, I thought this match was like kind of like overperformed for what I thought it was going to be, considering like
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the matches on the card, to be honest.
We're like, non-existent.
Yeah, amen. So at one point, while the referee's back is turned, the Sandman comes in, low blows Jerry, love to see
Love
it, with a
the stick.
we call them kendo sticks now. They called them Singapore canes in ECW. So low blows. Jerry sneaks back out of the ring, and then more chaos ensues. So the headbangers pick up the victory. And then it's like RVD jumps the rail and is fighting with Tommy Dreamer in the crowd. And then like RVD gets thrown back, and then literally Paul Heyman's like holding the Sandman back with the kendo stick, just like screaming no over and over again. Like if Sandman got over the rail, like he would be lost to like just the like
Like
war and would never come back. Like
yeah,
it
he
was
would like trigger
crazy.
like a grenade or something and the whole arena would blow. Like, and it was like so dramatic. But again, that's why I live. I live for Paul. I live for ECW. It's so
Mm,
dramatic. He was screaming no like the Titanic. Like I don't even know.
hmm
Like it was so
I
dramatic, and I
love it.
love to see it. And I love to see the Sandman. I love to see Tommy Dreamer. I said seeing Tommy Dreamer the steel chair is like seeing Mickey Mantle with a baseball bat. Like
I
it
love
just
it. It's just so
makes
true.
sense. It feels right. You just feel good about it. And I love Rob Van Dam. They'll never make me hate you, Rob.
No,
Never.
no, it's impossible. You can't.
I love you.
Um, so more on that. This ECW feud is crazy and I love it. So we're taken backstage to Taker, Ahmed Johnson, and Paul Bear. And they're asked like, "Are you ready? Like, are you ready for this match?" And Ahmed Johnson like starts to respond. He's like, "Yeah, we're ready, born ready." And then, of course, Paul Heyman's like, "And who are you going to listen to out there?" Like, that's right, me. And he's going to listen to me. And Ahmed Johnson cuts him off. He's like, "Okay, Pillsbury Doughboy, that's enough." And he's like, "This man right here, I respect you." I could not give a shit about. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Mm-hmm.
just I love it. I loved it. The insults were really out of pocket today. I love to see it.
So out of pocket, and I love to see it. Well, we'll get to it because based on this promo, it made me sad about the outcome of
Hmm
what happened, but also, yeah, we'll get to it.
So now our main event is The Undertaker and Ahmed Johnson taking on the new Nation of Domination. So, I just have a note that says Paul Bearer looks like he brought back the bubonic plague single-handedly. So
It's so true. Just this big black like welt on his face.
yeah, and it's from the like the the fireball whatever.
Like 5 months ago. Like, girl, put
It's
some Neosporin on it and let's move along.
right.
Like,
No, literally
it looks
single-handedly.
necrotic.
Right. I was like, Thank you for bringing back this like medieval disease. Sounds great." Like,
Yeah, like, brother,
um, so then the nation
hate
comes
it.
out, and it's just Farouk and D'Lo, and we're all like, D'Lo's not dressed to wrestle, so like, what's going on?
Ooh, yeah.
And that is when Kama Mustafa comes in,
Work.
and he's a big boy. He's a
Oh,
big
he's so
boy.
big.
He has
It's
been in the
big, huh?
WWF previously,
Oh, really?
the early 90s, earlier 90s, I'll say. So we've seen him before, but this is kind of a new like focus for him. He's been gone for like a hot minute. So he's now joined up with the nation. So it is Kama and Farouk taking on Ahmed Johnson and The Undertaker. Um, Ahmed Johnson never gets in this match. Never gets in this match once. It is The
I didn't even
Undertaker.
notice
He never
that.
gets tagged in. So The Undertaker is basically taking on both of these dudes single-handedly, because the one time that the Undertaker actually manages to get away from them and into the corner, Ahmed Johnson is pushing down Paul Bear, which I love to see, but conveniently timed because
Thank
um
God you're here because I
the
didn't even notice that.
yeah, so the one time that the Undertaker like actually got away from them to go make the tag, Ahmed Johnson is pushing down
Was
Paul
like,
Bearer and
hmm.
is not on where he needs to be. Um,
I mean,
so
again, same. I love to see it, but also
mhm,
like, how dare you,
right.
J'accuse.
So basically, this allows the nation to pick up the victory because they're unrelenting and the Undertaker has no help, essentially. So after the match, uh, it looks like Ahmed Johnson is going to like defend the Undertaker from getting a beatdown from the Nation of Domination. And he like does, he's like they scurry out of the ring, to the top of the apron, and then Ahmed Johnson turns on the Undertaker, hits him with a Pearl River plunge, joining the Nation of Domination.
I knew it. I knew
You
that
really
was
did.
coming.
Mm-hmm.
I really did. I was like, I just feel like, okay, I have so many things to say about this. One, first of all, Kama Mustafa, love that name.
Mm-hmm.
Love. Such a rolls right off the tongue. It looks like it fits him. Like he's just, and he big. He's so big. Because I love like those moments when, I always think Farouk is so big. And then he gets in the ring with the Undertaker and he's a solido. Like he just doesn't look that big. And then when Kama Mustafa stood up against Undertaker, I was like, oh, he's big. Yeah. Like he's really big. Love that.
And but fun fact, they're like good friends. The Undertaker. Kama. Yeah.
That's so cute. I love that. Love a fun fact. I lost my train of thought.
He's big. He's in a ring.
Yeah. Oh, nope. Oh my God, no, I'm sorry. Wait.
No, it's okay.
Oh, okay, I remember. So the whole time the match is going on, they're talking about like, well, Farouk said they were going to be introducing 2 new members and they only see one. Who's it going to be? And I was like, I knew it. I called it. I knew it was going to be Ahmed. I thought it would be a cute moment to suck him into the Nation. And it makes sense to me. Like, I hate that it makes sense to me. But it made me sad because then, well, I guess it makes sense because in his promo when he was like, listen, I don't respect you, Paul Bear, but I respect the Undertaker or whatever. And he does prevent the Nation from giving him the SmackDown, even though they've already beaten him. So that is respectable. So I feel I'm actually really into this because I feel like Ahmed Johnson brings a respectability to the Nation and just that little edge of moral compass. Like, did he still Pearl River plunge the Undertaker? Yes. But I feel like that was only fair because it was like almost like a what do you call it when they get their lick back?
Like a receipt?
A receipt. Like, not really, but it was kind of like you chokeslam me like last week at Paul Bear's bidding. So now I'm gonna get my lick in because you deserve it. Like, I don't know. And it's just interesting storytelling to me. And I'm excited for this restructuring of the Nation. It feels more cohesive, it feels better, and it's their first day.
Right.
Like,
and honestly, it's because it's like the 4 or I guess 5 of them, but it's like they're all wrestlers. But it's just the 4 of them. They actually look intimidating, like, and they actually look like cohesive. Like they actually look like they like would hang out with each other, like outside.
Like they actually look like a Nation of Domination,
right? And
if I do say so myself.
And it's just like I don't know, just like bigger. I don't know, bigger parties, bigger names. Like I don't know. It feels more like concrete. I don't know.
And they're all huge.
Huge.
Like they're
big
all
boys.
Huge big boys. I'm excited because I feel like this works in so many good ways for me for Ahmed's storyline. I just like I'm excited to see what he says next week or like whatever he says whenever he explains it.
I wonder if it's like a can't beat him, join him kind of situation.
And I hope it could be that, but I almost hope it's like deeper than that, or there's like something more serious at play where it's like, these are because I keep thinking of that moment where Farouk was like, he said all those things about like, not having a black champion and how that feels and blah, blah, blah. And that they asked Ahmed Johnson, they're like, find the next black man and ask him what he thinks. And Ahmed Johnson was like, well, I actually agree with him. So I don't know what you want me to say. Like, I can't stop thinking about that. And I was like, I just feel like he's going to go to the Nation because he actually kind of gets down with the get down. Like he kind of feels like understands like what they're trying to do. And now with this, like they trim the fat in one fell swoop and they're like, like now it just feels like an actual thing that is
Like a
threatening and not just
faction, like
stupid. Yes, it's not just like, oh, like, here we go. Like this feels better to
right.
me and is actually interesting.
So, all right, guys. So that's how we are left with this episode. So that has been another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. Thank you for watching wherever you watching, listening, liking, commenting, subscribing, wherever you find us. And I guess a little production note. We are going to hold off on doing some After Darks until the fall, September-ish. We need a sec. We're gonna enjoy the rest of our summer. I work 18 jobs and do this, so putting out 2 episodes every week does get a lot. So I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of the summer, and we'll hit the ground running again in the fall.
Yeah, and if you guys have anything you want us to cover, like talk about specifically, let us know, and we
Yeah,
can,
we could always
restructure, get ready for fall, and maybe it'll come up.
All right, guys. Thank you. We'll catch you next week.
We'll see you there.
Bye.